The only place to start, though, is obviously the City Ground. It is truly unbelievable. Nottingham Forest have beaten Manchester United for the first time at the City Ground for 31 years. It is symbolic. The fact that Manchester United have now lost their 9th Premier League match of the season before the year's end. Truly, truly appalling from Manchester United and Manchester United fans. I really do want to hear from you. Please do give me a call on 03717 223344, just as Adam, the Manchester United fan, has done. Adam, how are you?
Evening, Rory. How are you?
I'm better than you, I presume. How are you feeling?
Rory, I'm not even going to lie. I don't know where to start. The second the United game finished, I just looked at my wife and I said, I need to call talkSPORT. I need to vent. I need someone that's going to hear me, that understands what I'm going through.
How bad do you think that was?
You know what, Rory? Even when we scored that goal, I didn't even celebrate because it wasn't even a goal worth celebrating. It was a mistake. It's just been poor. And I'll tell you something that really summed it up for me today. It was something Gary Neville said in commentary. I think it was when Ten Hag was just standing at the pitch, staring at the pitch, and he said, "That looks like a manager that doesn't like his team." And I looked around the squad, and I'm like, "Well, you're the one that chose to spend 80 million plus on Anthony." Yeah. And I don't know what topic to start on, whether it's the transfers, whether it's the players.
Adam, I think the only place that we can start, is Erik Ten Hag. This hasn't happened. The significance of this result, Nottingham Forest beating Manchester United at the City Ground, you've got to go back to the Clough era to find a result similar to that.
I want a manager to leave. It's not something I'm fond of. And the reason why I say this, and people how old are you, Rory, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 38.
So me and you are not far apart. We remember original Premier League, watching it, our biggest rivals back in the day was Arsenal. And when I'm looking across and I'm seeing how Arsenal, they gave Arteta what he wanted, they gave him a chance, they let him build, and not just that. When I look at the signings that United, that Arsenal, that City, that Liverpool buy. Yeah, they go and buy 50, 60 million pound players, but not every single one is a 50, 60, 70, 80 million pound player.
Do you know the problem though, Adam? When you start talking about your justification for giving managers time, and I hear this a lot, people will always bring up the fact that Mikel Arteta got it right, or is at least moving in the right direction off the back of two fairly shaky seasons.
The FA Cup saved him.
But there's a danger. There's a danger that people, not only Manchester United, lots of clubs here, are going to use Mikel Arteta as an example of why you persevere with a manager and end up persevering with the wrong manager. Is Erik Ten Hag the wrong manager?
Who's out there right now, Rory, for us to take? We've gone with the Mourinho. It clearly didn't work for United. We tried the Van Gaal. That didn't work for United. We tried to go for David Moyes early on, thinking a young British manager, somebody who can refresh our ideas, someone who's been in the Premier League for a long time. That didn't work.
But the question is Erik Ten Hag the right man? Because there's no point in persevering with the wrong man simply because you can't name an obvious replacement.
Do you think we have a good enough squad though, Rory? Regardless of whoever comes in, do you reckon anyone can come in with this squad and can actually do something with it? We've got a 36-year-old who was released and who we've decided to take back after he was released from Leicester. As a centre-back.
What I do think about your squad is that it's better than 7th in the league. What I do think about your squad is that it is capable of accruing more points than it has. I do think about your squad is that it's better than Galatasaray's and better than Copenhagen's. 100
million %. And I couldn't agree with you more. This is not a squad that when you look at 9 league games after 20 we've lost 9. That's almost half of our league games that we've lost, and we've just got to Christmas. We're not even in the new year yet. We're probably going to lose another 6 or 7 more.
Yeah, thank you very much for your call, Adam. Cow, how are you feeling?
Hi, mate. You all right?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah. Not the best, really, mate, to be honest with you. I think Ten Hag's got to get his coat now. And I've been a staunch defender of him as well over the last 18 months, 2 years. It really is getting... There's no plan. He seems to be completely lost on the side. I'm going to say it now. Anthony... For the price that we paid for him, he is the worst signing in Man United history, and I'll tell you exactly why. We've had some bad ones, right? Now, I'll go back to the Cleverson days, the Jemba days, the David Bellion days, right? They were really poor signings, but for the price we paid, he looks... Why can't he just go onto his right foot? Is there something stopping him at all? Because he just doesn't seem like he can get to the byline. He looks divine. When he actually tries taking on a player, right, he just doesn't look up. He just looks back. And I'm sorry, but it all lies at Ten Hag's door. The signings that he's made, right, and I think there is a perfect replacement out there, and I'm going to say it now, and you'll probably not have heard this one. I think we should go and get Hansi Flick. Now, Hansi Flick, right, at Bayern Munich, that was one of the best teams I've ever seen in my life, right? When they won the Champions League in 2019, I think it was one of the best. Now, it's well documented about German football, right, that there's a lot of cultural problems in German football. Julian Nagelsmann, who was Tottenham Spurs' choice, right, he's going stinking out the place at the top of their football at the moment with the national team. I think Hansi Flick is a perfect replacement. He plays great football on the front foot, and I think you'll get a tune out of him. I really do, because there are a lot of players in that team that don't deserve to wear the shirt. They don't deserve to play for the badge. They're just not trying at all, right? And it's just one result. It's one win, one defeat. One win, one defeat. There's no consistency. There's no continuity, and it all stems with Ten Hag.
So are you ready for Ten Hag to leave? You think that? What about if Hansi Flick wasn't available? Do you still believe that Ten Hag needs to move on?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because if you look, right, he's had a good long stint now, right. He's had 3 transfer windows to try and mould the team to what he wants to play. Now he understands that, like, when he was at Ajax, yeah, the Eredivisie is a completely different animal. Yeah, it's not up to the standard of the Premier League, clearly, right. But there isn't a plan. There's no plan at all. He looks lost on the sideline. He doesn't. Steve McLaren, he looks lost. You just see him staring.
It's swallowing him up, isn't it, Cal?
It's absolutely swallowing him up, right? And it really, I've been a staunch defender of him, right? After we won the League Cup, right, last year, and we finished 4th, I thought, yeah, that would be a good time to, build a platform, go into the next season full of confidence and try and build from there. We're just going backwards. We're going backwards. Now, I think the problems have stemmed, obviously, from when Sir Alex Ferguson left. It wasn't just Sir Alex Ferguson, right? David Gill. We haven't replaced David Gill now. I'm hearing rumours that we're essentially bringing in Dan Ashworth. Now, Dan Ashworth, I'll tell you about Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth was, he was behind the signings for Brighton as well with Moises Caicedo, people like that, and I believe if we can get him in, right, I think it'll be a good appointment, really, because United are just going back. We're going completely backwards. We've got no direction, no plan, we've got nothing whatsoever. And at the moment, the buck stops with Ten Hag, and I go and get Hansi Flick. I'd test the waters for Hansi Flick and see if he'd be interested in the job, because I think he'd be a great fit for United.